What?
It's a very, very sad situation that's
It
happening over
is.
there. It really is. And in the beginning,
Mhm.
we didn't really have too much information on how it was organized and how this even came about, but obviously very fast it was determined that majority of the people who did come to the border,
Mhm.
the Haitian nationals, were actually coming from Chile and from Brazil. I can tell you, from personal experience with my clients, I do have Haitians that did live several years in South America, in those two countries specifically, and the conditions there were deplorable for them over there. They suffered a lot of racism, a lot of
Right.
discrimination. They weren't given job opportunities. I mean, it was a whole heap of battles that they had to endure in those South American countries.
Right.
And they made their way, they decided they weren't going to be subject themselves to that type of lifestyle anymore, which is not necessarily similar to what's going on in Haiti, but they're leaving a worse condition for a bad condition. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So then they made their way now to the border. And from what I understand, what's happening over there in the border is that quite a few thousand of them now have already been actually deported back to, or rather expelled back to Haiti. And it's a very sad situation because they left Haiti, they go to South America, they come to the border, and then they get put on an airplane to go back to
Go
Haiti where they
back.
haven't even been themselves there in such a long time.
Is there anything that can be done? What are
Well, you know, there's always litigation, there's always lawsuits, and I do know, and I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of different, human rights organizations and grassroots organizations that they filed these lawsuits against the government to try to stop, in this situation, like the expulsions that are
Mhm.
happening. But at the end of the day, DHS, or the Department of Homeland Security, or the Biden administration, they're following a directive. And
Right.
while they have stated that the directive doesn't apply to, I believe, children, unaccompanied minors, and then families as well, but for a lot of these individuals, they're coming here to the U.S. to try to get a better life. And right now, the U.S. laws are just not accepting of these types of
Right.
situations. I'm really for comprehensive immigration reform, and our immigration system is severely broken.
Right.
There are just problems and problems from all aspects, whether it's wanting to apply for asylum, getting married to an American, trying to get a green card through employment, even through investment. I mean, the laws are so antiquated. They're just not up to date with what's going on right now. And there needs to be some type of heavy legislative reform. But, as usual, it's being played as a weapon. That's what it is.
Yes.
It's the
It is.
child with two divorced parents. Where do they go? Always. And it's been like this for 40 years.